It's the...
We're back with Bronson Pinchot. Here's Elizabeth now in El Paso, Texas. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, how are you, Liz?
Just fine, thanks.
Good.
I'm a big fan of your show, and
Thanks.
I'm a huge fan of Bronson Pinchot.
How could you not be?
Thank you.
I think you're terrific.
Thank you.
My question is, how do you develop the accents that you use? Do you usually base them on someone you know, or do you research it, or do you just make it up entirely out of your head?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I do make it up entirely out of my head. I did it on Perfect Strangers, but then again, if you're making it up entirely out of your head, you're getting it from somewhere. I mean, you know, you're not born knowing how to do an accent, so it must have come from somewhere. But I think I do the collecting of data subconsciously, and then when I make a conscious decision to do it, it just pops out. The trouble I have is when I have to do a real accent, an actual identifiable accent. Obviously, Balky was from an imaginary country, but when I have to do an actual existing accent like East London or Parisian or something, I get a little sick to my stomach because I hate being that narrow. So I prefer to do imaginary accents that I make up and imaginary people. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, they're terrific. So you have a tremendous intelligence and sense of humor to be able to come up with them on your own.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
All right, good night now. Bye-bye. Do you do
How do you know she's going to bed now? There was a sort of
I said good night.
You said that there's just a night-night sort of feel to it.
Well,
sort of here's your warm milk sort of feel to it.
Your interpretation, Bronson.
Thank you.
Do you do any painting at all?
No. Yes. No, I don't paint anymore on canvas, but I have in my house, my house is my canvas now, and it's all raw stucco, upstairs and down and inside and out, and I paint the walls. I mean, I treat them and paint them and do finishes on them.
I got you, yeah.
And that's what I do. My house is my canvas now.
Now, Perfect Strangers ran for how many seasons?
6.5.
All right. The word in town is that if the season lasts for 5 years, you make enough that you can be comfortable. Is that true?
Not if, no. No, I'm not. I mean, I'm comfy,
Obviously.
but I can be comfy for about 6 months. I think if you're, it depends on your personality.
Yeah.
You know, I have noticed in my years in showbiz that people, actors that make it big, that come from nice middle-class families and know what to do with money, never have to work again. But I came from a welfare family, and every dollar that I see, I think I should spend it before somebody comes through the window and grabs it. And I'm not being facetious. I honestly, and I've noticed that. You know, it just depends on how you grew up. But I grew up with, you know, my mother got paid every 2 weeks, and at the end of the second week, there was just no food. And so if I make $100, I spend $110, and it's just, it's not good.
It is good, though, because
but that's the way I work.
If you spend 110, you get your money's worth for the 100. My father always said, if you're going to spend 100, spend 125 to make sure you get your money's worth for the 100.
Yeah.
Pay the $2. It's the long way. You know, my father was long with it. Anyway, I wish you well on the new show.
Thank
and I finally got your name right and your show right. So I've progressed some in the last 6 or 7 years, and I hope that you'll come back and visit us soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Mr. Bronson Pinchot. Show is called The Trouble with Larry, CBS on the air.
Please watch it! Hi. Hi.
On the air Wednesday night. You'll check the locals for time and station. We'll be right back with the kids from Oz Radio after these messages.